Hello, friends. We are passing through unprecedented time of this pandemic, and what one is scared of is after we are able to conquer it, even if we assume we are able to get over this problem in its entirety, what then? I think we are unfortunately looking at a much bigger and a much more serious pandemic. That is a pandemic of an economic collapse, pandemic of businesses failing, and pandemic of companies going bankrupt, individuals having to declare bankruptcies. So how are we going to tackle it? So coronavirus goes away in 14 days, but this is not a kind of a virus which will go away in 14 days. It may take months, years. How long it takes will depend on how well we as a society, how well the government and how well the banks respond to it. You see, the bottom line is that all viable and needed businesses have to be saved. There cannot be any two ways about it. What the earth is seeing is a unique problem, and it will require unique and innovative responses. The old mindset cannot work. The clerical and mechanical way of doing things will not work. I was reading today, there was a very interesting news clip that Lufthansa, the German airlines, that the German government has decided to put 10 billion euros, that is something close to 70, 80,000 crore rupees in Lufthansa, because they say that Lufthansa is a source of German pride and we cannot allow it to fail. And the government is taking over 25% stake in Lufthansa through some majorly through non-voting shares, which in later means that the Lufthansa professional managers will continue to run without government having an overwhelming say, even though the government is putting in a sizable amount of money in the company, but they will not allow it to sink. I know, and that a lot of you will say that India is not Germany. We do not have that kind of resources. True. I mean to give that example in the sense of the mindset. The mindset is towards, if you can save the business, do it. And if an asset is of importance and the business is viable and it is needed, then you must save it. It's a question of a mindset that is important. Now let us see what in past our responses have been. Take a case of Kingfisher Airlines. Take a case of Jet Airlines. What was it about? If you ask 9 out of 10 Indians will say, it was about Vijay Mallya, Jet was about Naresh Goyal, and there was a lot of, as we say, khapla, which means a fraud on taxpayers' money, fraud on banks' money. All right, but according to me, that was a subplot. If those people have done something wrong, the law should go hammer and tongs after that. But to my mind, it was not about Mallya. See, companies and businesses are important, because companies and businesses mean it was about the planes, it was about thousands and lakhs of man hours which went about planning to create these airlines. It was about the processes, it was about the infrastructure built, the quality control, and most importantly, it was about the hundreds and thousands of young boys and girls who were a trained manpower and who improved their skills working for these airlines. It was about their jobs, the honest, hard-working, middle-class boys and girls who were making a career out of it. And what did we do? We made it about just Vijay Mallya and Naresh Goyal. You see, the promoters can be replaced, but it's not easy to replace or recreate a business. So we have to see a change in the mindset that businesses and companies and assets have to be saved. Just for the sake of extending this argument, what is the net result? What did the government get? It got its share of controversies. No, Mallya was a congressman. No, he was a BJP man. Depending who you spoke to, there were all kinds of stories going around. And we as a country, we love these kind of diversionary stories rather than coming to the basic core of the issue. What did the banks get? Now, Vijay Mallya owed the bank 6,900 crores. Now, hypothetically, if he had another 2,500 crores in short-term capital, which would have rolled over and continued as a working capital limits, out of that 6,900 crores today would have been around 10,000 crores. What have the banks got it so far? Few hundred crores by selling his house or yacht or something, and we are all cheering as if some kind of a justice has been done. And what have the customers got? We as a nation, what have we got? We have got now just a very limited choice of airlines, rapidly deteriorating services of the airlines before Corona put a stop to aviation industry. Now, I find it very ironical because in this country with so many senior civil servants, so many aviation experts, consultants, bankers, very clever financial restructuring persons, we all could not as a nation come together and put our heads to save a lot of core businesses. It's not a problem of one or two. There has been a systemic destruction of national assets in past few years on one ground or the other, real estate, steel, energy. And what happens in the process is that the promoter goes down, but most importantly, the jobs, the asset, the economic stimulus which that asset embeds in itself goes away. So, are we going to become only a nation of theorizing studio television experts, or are we going to do it? And now, post-corona era is going to challenge that, and it is going to separate the nations which act decisively against the nations which follow the rule book to the T without reaching anywhere. Our decision making at our banking and at the government level has been very, very procedure bound so far, unfortunately. It's a standard thing. Any major problem in the industry, government sends it to the bank, you take a decision as per your norms, banks follow the RBI circulars or their own internal circulars, and at the first indication of stress, the thing is handed over to their law departments, it goes to DRT, and now we have IBC, and it goes to court. So everyone plays the game what the country as it is. We are becoming very good at what I call is a game called CYB PTB. CYB PTB. Cover your backside and pass the buck. So this story has been playing again and again, and this approach of ours has always been very hyper-legal, very clerical. Now, our Prime Minister has always said that we as a nation are family, and as a family we have to fight this pandemic, Now, if we as a nation are family, all the assets, no matter where and how they are placed, these are family assets. Now, how well an asset is doing, how ill an asset is doing, these days is dependent on a large number of macroeconomic forces which are at times outside your country. These are global forces, and they're not necessarily always in the control of the businesses. So what does happen? What happens if a family member falls ill tomorrow? Tomorrow, God forbid, if my family member is in emergency, as human beings, what do? We send him straight to crematorium or send him straight to liquidation for his skin to be sold to the nearest tannery and his bones to be sold to the bone meal shop? No. We try to put in whatever humanly is possible, whatever financially is possible. So assets have to be nurtured. If asset is under stress, you have to see. First step should be to see. Otherwise, it's very easy to destroy an asset. Destruction is the easiest thing. But to create a company, to create a business, to create an asset means a lot of cross disciplines have to come, a lot of planning has to go on, a lot of money has to be put in, a lot of processes have to be set, a lot of physical infrastructure has to be created, managed, and then something has to be earned out of it. Now, unfortunately, so the coming time would require very clever solutions. It require very compassionate and very innovative solutions and innovative resolutions. Now, some start government has made. They've said we will give you moratorium for 3 months, 6 months. Again, the strategy today cannot be a commoditized strategy. It has to be a designer and customized strategy. See, certain businesses, say essential commodity manufacturing, make open instantly, and within a fortnight or 1 month he will be up and running. Certain discretionary spend kind of commodity or product or service producers may take 3 months. Certain other businesses like aviation, hospitality, etc. may take years and years to. So one solution to fit all will not work. Different businesses will need a different kind of medication over a different period of times. It's like a good doctor who calibrates your dosage. It is far too long we have been playing this favorite sport of the administrators and the bankers, that is the cannibalism by rule book. That you eat up the businesses, throw the rule book, and you say, I can't do this, I can't do that. That somehow has to go. How that will happen, we will examine in our next videos. I would be happy if I could trigger some thoughts in this. Do share your thoughts with I must say that I'm very grateful for the overwhelming response which I got for my first video. I never thought that this initial amateur attempt, which was more born out of staying at home in the corona period, would resonate so much with people. It's not only the friends, because friends have a knack to be very complimenting and very charitable, but a lot of people who I do not know, a lot of strangers have written to me and written very encouraging notes. I'm thankful to you. So do share your thoughts and your criticism alike, and we will examine next time some of the out-of-box ideas which may kind of help in the fond hope that someone is listening. Thank you very much.